Platt, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? I feel like I look tired, but I promise I'm full of energy and I'm vibrant. I just always look tired.
You're fit and vigor, or some shit like that.
I wouldn't say either of those, but I am awake.
You're awake. I mean, that counts for something, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
all that we really need in life is to be awake sometimes.
You know what's crazy? It's so obvious that eating unhealthy makes me tired and have a worse day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I never blame the food. Like if I wake up and I have a nice, I have eggs and then I have a salad and then I have, I don't know, some like healthy fats or something. It's like I just have good energy through the day and I feel good. Or I get up and it's noon and I have a full pizza and I have to go right back to sleep. I wake up, I have a headache, my back hurts the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It's like it's so immediately connected and I'm still like, what is wrong with me today, bro?
Yeah.
I can't connect the dots.
My wife is always like, you can do the hardest things. You can lock yourself in a room for hours and like focus on videos or work or put yourself through this, that, and the other. But you have the hardest time with food. And I'm like, I don't know, mentally, I can't like churn that on and off like I do everything else in my life. I don't get it.
In terms of like preparing food or
No.
just
Like I will like, you can't put chips in front of me. I will mess up a bag of chips. Like, I don't care how big it is.
I have very little discipline. Well, discipline is a verb. I watched this whole video about discipline isn't a noun, that it's a verb. You discipline yourself. But it's like, I'm not good at disciplining myself when I see junk food. I cannot buy it from the grocery store. But if I'm at work and there's like free donuts, I'm like, I'm gonna smash those donuts, bro.
Speaking of donuts, guess what my daughter is downstairs making from scratch right now?
Parfaits.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I right? Am I right?
Boston cream donuts.
Ooh.
I'm like, what the hell?
Are you from Boston? I feel like you have a bit of a Boston accent.
So kind of. I was born in New Jersey, but
That's right.
Yeah,
New Jersey.
my family is predominantly from Massachusetts and in like the Cape area all the way up into Boston. It's like all the suburbs that lead into Boston. And so that is where like all my family grew up. And I lived there for quite a few years. So I lived there as a kid and I lived there again through high school. And so like it's like my other home.
And I'm gonna clarify, you don't really have an accent. It's just like there's like a 1% of like, oh, this is not a Pacific Northwest speaker.
No, chat likes to call out when my Boston accent slips. I'm very good at hiding it. Very good at hiding it. Yeah.
You gotta smuggle it in.
Yeah, basically. And then there's certain words that like they always tease me on, and I love it because like certain things will slip out, especially like late at night when I'm like less aware of myself because I'm like more chill. Like that's when the words will like really come out. But it's funny because whenever like my dad's around, if he comes out to visit, or my sister or something like that, it's very natural for me to slip back into like my old dialect. And so like my accent will come out full, like I'll speak faster. It's all sorts of fun after that.
You're playing, I can see you playing Final Fantasy 1. It's like, all right, let's see here. We got a potion, a tent, a cottage, and it's like, a what?
Basically, yeah.
A cottage?
Did my daughter, I was picking her up from school the other day, and her teacher comes out, and she's like, "What's that building across the street? It's a store, and it has a red circle." And I'm like, "What the fuck is she asking me?" Right? And I'm like,
"Oh, about Target?"
Yeah. And so I said it, but I said it without the accent. And she's like, "Damn!" And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What is going on?" She's like, "Oh, Talia your daughter told me that that you're from Boston and I wanted to hear the accent." I'm like, "Oh, well, I usually hide it." And so then I like actually started speaking with my full accent, and she was like so giddy.
Yeah,
it was the funniest thing.
Yeah, accents are just fun in general. I don't know what my accent is, Pacific Northwest, but I'm sure there's some words that I say very oddly. Odd lie. No, like I always say soda. I know not everywhere in the country says soda.
Oh, we called it pop.
Yeah, some people call it pop. I've never called it pop. Some people like, what kind of Coke do you want? But I've always said soda.
Yeah. Oh, so Kage has the term they always have me say, which is barbecue marshmallow.
Barbecue marshmallow.
Yeah, you just delete all the R's and extend the A's is how you get that one done.
Barbecue marshmallow.
Yeah. Screw that. I'm not even gonna try it. Fuck. So I thought today, being the start of February, for no particular reason, would be the best day to start our podcast with violence. How do you feel about that?
Violence?
Violence.
Yeah.
I feel like
it was either violence or violets, and I was like, I'm down for both.
Both could work. Both could work. We might get to the other one soon because I know everybody is going to want to hear our opinions on the banner shift, but I feel like we should just hold that back for at least the first half of the podcast. So I was going through my closet and I put this shirt on today because it was just in the front of my closet. It says democracy is dying, but yay, we have fireworks. And it made me think about this, the term vote with your wallet. Okay. Mm-hmm. In a game that's free to play with paid options such as, banner pulls, or even extend this out to things like, I don't know, Fortnite, where it's free to play, but you can buy battle passes, skins, whatever. How much of a vote does a actual free to play player get if they're not supporting the game in any other way?
Well, I mean, voting with your wallet, typically, at least my perception of it, it's not something you do for a game that you want to live. It's something you do for a genre as a whole. Like people, the customers cannot spend money on gacha games, but that like voting with your wallet really means you're willing to let a game die and not engage with it. If you're playing a game free to play, you're voting with your wallet to have them keep continuing doing exactly what you're doing because you're playing the game still. The only way they get a message is by not playing. Yeah. And obviously when you spend money, you vote way more. But like maybe it wouldn't matter as much for the top people like Kage and stuff, but like if there's 0 plebs in the whole game, the entire game is just 1,000 super whales. Do whales like being king of the dorks? Like, it's like there's no plebs. We're the peasants. You're king of nobody. Yeah. So I think you do need free to play players. So I think if you play a game, you are voting with your wallet. You really do have to quit. You have to not engage with it in order to vote.
Yeah. See, I think that's interesting because I kind of, in my mind, I it's almost like a hybrid answer because on the one side, because, we put out these videos always about pull rates and, like I just did is it free to play friendly for Arknights the other day. And like I always get a lot of answers that are tailored very much towards the individual who has never intended to spend a dime. They want to play the game, perfectly fine. They want to enjoy the content, but they know that there was nothing that was ever going to come out in that game that they were going to, walk out and spend a cent on, let alone hundreds of dollars or even $50, the average price of a new game. And so for those individuals, I'm like, well, how much am I worried about your perspective on pull rates when you're not funding the game in any way, shape, or form, right? And I'm not saying and there's no like final answer here. I'm just kind of bringing out the question. But if you aren't feeding into it at all, how fair does the game need to be for you specifically, right? Like, do the rates need to be better for you if you're never going to fund the game? Because the more the rates are better for you, the less likely a spender needs to spend as much as they would have, right? So there's like kind of that argument. And then the other argument is what you just brought up, which is, but you still need enough people playing. Because if you only have 1,000 people playing, are they going to keep the doors open? And is it going to be fun if there's no one else to talk to? Now, granted, things like Persona 5X, like I don't see anybody. Like I'm in the main area right now. There's no other player. Same thing with Arknights, but I know other people play. We have a whole community around it, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, like free-to-play players, they are essential, but they're a resource for the company. They're not. Their opinions don't really matter too much as long as they play the game. Yeah. If decisions are made that are so bad that free-to-play players stop quitting, then that is a problem. But their whole reason the games are free-to-play and that the free-to-play players matter is specifically to boost numbers so the game has a perception of popularity. That way people don't feel like they're wasting their money when they spend more and more money. Like they're there to make other people spend more money. Because again, it was even a game like Persona. If there was memes going on everywhere, everyone uninstalled it, no free-to-play players are playing it, and everyone was saying dead game, more and more spenders would stop spending money and the game would die, right? Yeah. It's kind of this vicious cycle that MMOs fall into. It's like it's a dead game, so people don't play it, and people don't play it, so it's more of a dead game. And so we do care about what free-to-play players think, but not on spending if they weren't going to spend anyway, as long as they still log in and play.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, like I said, it's a fun one because I know people can take that in so many different directions. And I'm sure I'm going to get comments like, oh my God, you hate free to play, or, what do you mean we don't matter? Like someone's going to misinterpret everything that was just said because that shit happens all the time.
They are food. They matter, but they're purely there to make other people feel like the game is more popular and spend more money.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend years creating a game for free that you never have to spend money on. That's not their goal. Yeah. Their goal is to use you to manipulate spenders.
Yeah.
as a free-to-play player.
It reminds me, one of my favorite sayings that comes from marketing is you sell the sizzle, not the steak. So it's the, if you're in a restaurant and somebody orders fajitas, it's like the best example. As they walk through the restaurant, you smell it and you hear the sizzle, the right?
Plate,
And everyone's
yeah.
like,
You
what the,
hear the
yeah,
hot
like, what
plate.
the hell is that? I want that, right? And then you smell, you're like, oh, I've got to have that. And to me, the steak is the whale, right? It's the person who's going to put the meat into the game. And then the free to play is the sizzle. They're the ones like, oh, I love this game. I hate this game. I got to get my friend to play this game. Whether or not they spend doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the company is looking to convert X percentage of people into spenders. And they know they're going to get some. Like if there's, we'll make up a number here. If there's 10,000 players in a given month that join the game, maybe 3 of them are spenders. And so they want to push the needle to 5. And if they get 5 people to spend instead of 3, their profits are up, 0.5% or whatever. And so that's what it kind of reminds me of when I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think free-to-play players, I don't understand the idea of playing completely free-to-play in general anyway, just because I feel like I would rather, I don't know, I'm playing Elden Ring right now, right? And I'm like, now that's once you buy the game, like now I'm in, right? Like I really am having a lot of fun. But in a free-to-play game, it's like, it's like, hey, everyone around you is in a race car and you're there on crutches.
Yeah.
Like, why do you even want to engage with that if you're not going to at least spend a little bit of money to be like on par with other people? I don't know, but I could talk about it all day, but in general, I don't mind people playing games free to play, but I do think it's important to note if you're playing a game fully free to play, if you're playing the game, you're being used by the company in some way. If you're not, what is the saying? If you're not paying for a product, then you are the product.
Oh, I like that.
So it's like if you're paying to play the game, then you're using a product. If you're not paying to play the game, then you're part of the product of the game. You're there to for the other people to gloat over.
Yeah, and I see some comments saying, they get their worth out of free-to-play through surveys, and because large amounts of players look good, which is exactly what you were saying. Kage makes the best point just saying donate plasma, because obviously that's the way you should do it. If you donate plasma, then, you got the money for the game.
Plasma.
You got the money.
I remember the last day I ever donated plasma. I was in there laying down, and my whole side of my body started to go numb, and it was like the 7th time, and I'm like, this hasn't happened before, and I was like, it started to go a little bit numb, then more and more numb, and I was like, "Excuse me,
I'm dying.
I'm starting to go numb over here." And the lady came over, she went, "Oh, oops," and clicked the machine and went, and it like revved up or whatever. I was like, fuck
"What
that.
the hell?
I'm never coming back here again."
She was over there having coffee with her friend.
I could have died.
I've given blood. I've never given plasma.
They put it back into your body. They take the blood out, they scrub it for the plasma, and then they put the blood back into your body. So you can do it like 3 times a week.
Wow, that's weird. Like, not weird. It's just like medical science always like astounds me. The stuff that they think of. Like, I don't even think I would think to do that. Like, that's not a thing I would think of like to test as a hypothesis. You know what I mean?
Also, there's a reason. Like, if you have a really, really close like plasma donate place like right by your house, you probably live in a rough neighborhood. All right, I have not seen them in the wealthy neighborhoods. I'll be honest. They're
not next to Trader Joe's.
No, they're usually next to like
Dollar
There's
General.
a lot of homeless people. Yeah, homeless people and stuff like that. So
okay,
I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't even seen them really.
Yeah, I can't think of like a place that's advertised it. We used to have downtown when I worked downtown. They would have the buses drive up, and then they had like the options to give blood and to donate plasma. And so like they would always have like a big drive, like, oh, the bus is gonna be here on a Tuesday. Everyone take an extra long lunch, go donate blood, blah, 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 and whatever, you either did or you didn't.
You can make like $500 a month donating plasma.
That's wild.
It's not donating, it's selling plasma, but I think they call it donating, then they compensate you because they're not buying your plasma. They're compensating you for your time for donating plasma.
Yeah,
Some
it's like
weird,
the loophole or something,
loophole.
yeah.
Yeah, that way, like they don't, because if they actually bought it from you, it'd probably be way too expensive, right?
Yeah.
So
disclaimer to everybody: if you're planning on selling plasma or blood or any other parts of your body, talk to your doctor first. This is not medical advice, unless you're Kage. Kage apparently is a doctor. He's telling you do it 3 times a week equals many pulls. He says it's next to laundromats and stuff. He's got us.
Exactly. Yeah, it's by the coin-operated laundromats.
He's like on 5th and Newton. He knows the exact address.
But I mean, yeah, if you want to do pulls, what else are you gonna do? Just You listen to your doctor? Yeah, right.
Yeah, screw that.
Sorry,
He's got to know what they're for, right?
Violet's coming out.
Oh, speaking, we can switch gears into that because I know people are going to be curious about that. Did you see or are you aware of the schedule change that they just announced?
I won't call it. I think it's still rumors, kind of, but it's like whether or not we're getting the next Palace update, I think is assumed, but not known for sure until the actual stream.
Yeah.
Big fan. I want them to drop all the Palace updates ASAP. I want them to drop more mementos and all that stuff. They can no longer release characters I care about. There's too many characters in the game for me already. I don't care about any character they're ever going to release again. And that's just me. In Gacha games, I have all the characters I like using. I have my AoE teams. I have my single target teams. I've got my tanky teams. I've got my meme teams. I've got my meta teams. I've got enough units. So I don't want to build any more units. I'm happy with what I have. And I know no one agrees with me because everyone that plays Gacha is a psychopath. But I'm the only sane person, I feel like. It's everyone else that's crazy, I promise. But I'm very, very excited for story content.
Yes.
I'm not bald. My hair is gray.
I am really, really hoping that they do bring the next Palace part because it would make sense just the way it works for them to bring the conclusions to the Palace out with... Obviously, what they called a Tempest, I think. With Tempest, I mean, it remains to be seen until we see the live stream, if they're actually going to do it that way. But I hope they do. Like, I think that'd be really fun. And what I love most about this is it kind of opens the door to could we get Palace 4 earlier? And there's a little bit of danger there because, like, let's say they just back-to-back all the patches, so that we get the caught up Palace 4. And like within a month, we're done with the content for the Palace. Well, now we have to still wait until the next Palace update launches for the other servers. So you still end up with a wait. It won't be as bad, right? Because we're not like waiting the 6 months and then waiting the year for like the next Palace or whatever. But it doesn't make Palace 5 come sooner than they'll build it. But it does catch us up on the timing, which I think would be nice.
I think it would. I think it would speed up Palace 5 and Palace 6 because not technically, of course, they'd have to release it for the other server and for us. But I mean, like, I think that they would start dedicating a lot more resources if we were like semi caught up to creating the new palaces in general, because like they know they're going to start losing revenue if we're used to a certain amount of like updates. And now it's like, hey, we need 4 months of just building a palace. So everyone just do summer event, do Chinese New Year event, do these like really lame events they're not super lame, but like they're not exciting comparatively to content. So I think they would further invest into the development speed in order to maintain their revenue. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Either way, my thought is if they give us all the palaces right away and we're all caught up, I'm just going to take a break from the game until the next palace comes out. Like that's fine with me. Like that was something we said when the game came out. It's not the daily driver. You know, it's not the game you log in and put in multiple hours in every single day of the week. It's like you log in a couple times the week, do some daily stuff, make sure you're earning your free-to-play polls. Then when a new character that you want comes out, drop some money, do the palaces. But I'm okay taking a break if there's not like any content for a while.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's so funny because I can always go back to my, the game is boring video I launched, because so many people got 10 minutes into the video and obviously didn't watch the rest of it to see that my point was that it's my comfort game and I like it this way. But I like that I get to visit the Persona 5 world effectively for a small amount of time a day, and then occasionally have a bigger reason to be in it, and then spend the rest of my time playing something else. Like I'm okay with that. But Sandra brings up a good point that her transformation into her new form is part of the story. So it wouldn't make much sense not to have the story with her coming out, because it's actually part of the story how she gets it. That sentence make any sense? I feel like that sentence was all over the place.
The point is that yes, I understand that, but never understand that they can always retcon anything they want any way they want.
Very fair.
They could always make it work however they want, but they will probably not do anything big and risky. They'll probably just release the palace. I am nervous, kind of like you, where they're burning all their good content a little bit faster than like the burn rate is faster than the creation rate. So like
Yeah.
what happens when you kind of run out of stuff. But that's where I just wanted to fall back again, is I think that they'll have the resources then to kind of redouble, because as content's being made, maybe it could be translated as part of the development process instead of all being after the fact, for like caught up. I would
Yeah.
love to be caught up and then make shit faster, make stuff faster.
Well, I think they do get better in terms of the quality of events. If I think about summer year one versus summer year two event, like the summer year two event is absolutely better. I don't think it's something one could debate as to whether or not it's better. They just have more content in it. There's more side stuff to do. They made fishing actually fun for once, and so I think each of these seasons is better. I don't know exactly how the new Valentine's Day will play out, but they obviously started teasing it yesterday, being just the time of the year. And so I've got a lot of hope that their new Valentine's Day like total event is cooler than the one that we get here in Global in a couple days. And so you see stuff like that. And then they have like added things like Tartarus, which you could tell there's a lot more, I don't know, meat, I guess is the word I would use, put into it. So I hope they do that. I think as long as they can keep the in-between patch cycles, I would say enough content, but not enough to be overwhelming, that it's enough to like keep players engaged so they don't just leave the game. Because there's always that balance, to your point earlier, is you need the retention, you need the numbers of players to keep a game going, even if they're free to play. And so if everybody's like, oh, well, I haven't thought about the game in 2 weeks, they're not going to think about the content that comes out. And so you want them to come in at least somewhat frequently to see something so they don't walk away.
Agreed. Yeah, it keeps people coming back. Like even people like me, where I'm more interested in the major updates, And when I saw, like, because I took a couple months off, and then 6 months came up, and I this is really fun. Then there was Palace stuff to do, and the twins, and it was a bunch of stuff. And now it's kind of died down again, and I'm probably not going to play the Valentine's event when that comes out. But if they're coming out the Palace, that means I'm going to come back strong and keep playing the Palace. I'll even do guild bosses and stuff.
Hey.
I'll log into the game and I'll engage with all the systems, which is kind of fun.
You heard it here first, guys. Splat's going to do a guild boss.
I think one of the issues with Persona is its core mechanics aren't necessarily replayable in an interesting way. Like after playing CZN, I was like, they designed that game first for the core gameplay loop to be like, oh, this is something you could just do forever and it's enjoyable. And Persona has like its content is all burnt kind of once you've done it. Like the Palace, you do it and then it's done. The and guild bosses are just kind of like, it's nothing new from what I haven't played 100 times before in other stuff, and it's kind of a little too samey every time because it's the same bosses being repeated,
Yeah.
And so I don't feel like I think they need to, like, maybe Tartarus is the thing, but they need something a little more repetitive that you could play just for the sake of fun. They don't need to create content for constantly, that they could just have a gameplay system set up to be more enjoyable. I'm trying to think of like, because like the guild bosses, to your point, they're the same all the time, and they even just recycle them. And I really wish that, I don't know, that there was a way they could make it feel fresher. Like, what would be really cool in my opinion is if they made it more about the guild. Because right now it's just like you kind of combine scores, whatever. But what if it was like, I get 6 turns, because right now it's a 6 turn thing, right? And then you get 6 turns where I leave off. Like I think about, what was the game I used to play with my sister? It was a Kingdom Hearts gacha game, and for the life of me, I can't think of what the name of it was. But in any case, that's what it is. And I think a lot of gacha games do this, where they have like a massive health bar, and then I'm doing something, then you're doing something, and we're like working towards a common goal. But I can see where you contributed more than just a number, right? So I don't know, like something to make it feel new, make it feel fun. I would like if they did it kind of either like Raid Shadow Legends or Etheria Restart. They're both slightly different takes on the guild boss, but like Raid Shadow Legends has the multiple stages, right? Yeah. Every turn you fight the boss gets like stronger, or it's like after 10 turns or something, the boss gets stronger, so he's gonna kill you. But it's like you fight and defeat the boss, then you push and you fight and defeat the next boss, then you push, defeat the next boss. I think that's a fun system. But also Etheria Restart, it's like the boss is like 100 health bars, and every health bar makes the boss a little bit stronger. And so it's like, I like that because it's not directly tied to turns. It's directly tied to one, how much damage you could deal, but then it becomes like maybe relevant to use a sustain unit.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't just become purely only how much damage can you get in this short amount of turns. It becomes more flexible, you know, in terms of what teams could be viable. Because if your account's a little bit weaker, maybe instead of this is the same setup that does the most damage, maybe you can get more damage by surviving 3 more turns by using a Cherish as opposed to running someone like I don't know, Leon, right, who boosts your damage.
Yeah,
so
I agree. Actually, I think ironically the Raid Shadow Legends one might be the best example. And I'm not really playing the game anymore, so I had my last video on Friday. I don't mind telling people, like, they dropped me. I didn't get enough clicks, so I'm no longer sponsored by them. But
that's probably what they do, right? You get all the clicks initially, but then it's like your audience has seen the game, you know?
Yeah. But their guild boss, for those who haven't played Raid, the way the guild boss works is every day, or it's like every 6 hours, you get a key to the boss, and then you use that key to fight the boss, of course. And it goes like easy, normal, maybe hard, brutal, nightmare, ultra nightmare. And if the boss is beaten for that difficulty, wherever you fall in the ranking in the ladder, so it's like if you do 1 to 1 million damage, or 2 to 2 million, or 3 million damage, 3 million to 4 million, there's like 4 or 5 tiers per level of the boss. If the group beats the boss, you get twice the rewards. So like, let's say the best you can do is defeat Nightmare boss. Then at Nightmare, if you get to the top end of it and the guild beats the boss, you get 2 chests instead of 1. And so there's an incentive to partner with your guild and be like, hey, across all of our collective power, we know we can beat this difficulty boss. So let's first invest our keys into beating that boss. Then the second thing you would do is use enough keys as you can to get the top reward. And so now you're guaranteed 2 of the top reward. And then if you have an extra key, you just go down to like a lower difficulty and just clear it for the hell of getting more rewards. But I actually thought that was a really good way to do it, because that's where I might call the guild up in Discord and be like, yo, you know, let's this week push Nightmare boss or whatever, right? And I think that's actually, to your point, it's far more engaging, I think, that way.
I just want things to be a little more dynamic than, like, this is where me and some of the Persona players have disagreed, where it's not that there's no strategy in the guild bosses in Persona. There is strategy, but it's not really dynamic. It's not at all. It doesn't incentivize thinking on your feet and adjusting and, you know, needing to reevaluate. It's all about finding the single most optimal thing and then running it until the RNG goes in your favor. You're like, oh, they focused all the attacks on whatever Leon and he died. Shit. All right, reroll. You don't have to worry about crits or anything, but still, like, I want something a little more dynamic and maybe more engaging than just purely always number big, number go bigger, number go bigger.
Well, that's actually a thing that I think they did well in Raid as well, is so there's 3 different guild bosses and each one has a whole different strategy. But the main one, you have to survive an escalating difficulty of attack, so they get stronger as it goes. And so you have to focus on, well, I need to debuff attack on the boss, and I might need someone who can do basically taunting. And so instead of just being like Persona, where it's like, hey, let me just put how can I buff my damage dealer to be the best damage dealer, you would have to think about sustain. And then if you were to equate that here, it's like, okay, well, do I bring a Minami who can heal, or do I bring a Cherish who can, you know, protect? You know, maybe now I want to have someone like a Howler who can do something to help here. Or, you know, maybe we start bringing out Personas that have decreased attack instead of just, you know, Rebellion, because everyone runs Rebellion. Let's just be honest. So I think if they could refresh the guild bosses to have some sort of mechanics that, again, encourages that group play, that isn't just, oh, well, this person scored higher and then the score plus the score equals the total score. Like, I don't know, it's kind of boring.
Well, I mean, and how often do you see a guild boss? At least I haven't. Maybe I'm a scrub, but I've never seen a guild boss and I'm like, this is going to change. Like, oh, what is the guild bosses? What are they going to do? What are their attacks going to do? What are their units going to do? What mechanics do I need to play around? No, it's always like, what team do I need to run to deal the most damage? It's never about like, okay, well, this guy does these debuffs, then I need to make sure I remove the poison debuffs. Like even Genbu 5 or whatever, right? Genbu 5 had mechanics that you had to kind of play around. The guild bosses, I feel like, are just, I don't know. They feel so phoned into me, where it's just like such a simple, they've got infinite health bars, do what you can, and the biggest number wins. And it's, for me, it's just,
Yeah.
The antithesis, whatever. It's the epitome of being unengaging.
Yes, yes. And Kage brings up a point that we don't even have the third boss yet. We're supposed to have 3 bosses. That came in like the 1.0 series at some point. And we're like getting ever so closer to the 4th palace and they just never added it. I don't know if maybe they just intend not to for global, but it is weird that
So
they just never gave it
guild
to us.
bosses every week.
Yeah. I want to say, if I remember correctly, it keeps the highest scores from 2 of them. I don't remember
that's kind of
exactly.
fun.
Yeah. It's been so for those that don't know, I haven't seen the post in
So that's
Discord.
kind of fun. I take that back. I just meant like that's an interesting way to do it. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to do
yeah.
all 3 if you don't
No,
want
I
to.
know what you mean. I can no longer get into my KR account. Not that I'm locked out of the account from a login perspective. I legitimately can't get the freaking thing to load. I don't know what it is about their server now. So I'm like, I've just given up. Like, I'm just not going to go log into my KR account anymore. So I still get people that ask me like, oh, can you go to your KR account and like check this thing out? And I'm like, I really can't. Like, I would love to, but like, it doesn't let me do it anymore.
Screw you, Bear. We trusted you.
I know. I'm
He
such,
probably never had a KR account.
yeah, I was just using somebody else's.
His KR account's from Canada. You haven't met her.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know who would, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, at least that's kind of interesting. Kage, thank you for the insight. Always knowing how to min-max guild bosses. We're different people, you and I.
But
He is the most hated player, though, to be fair. I might be the most hated content creator, but he's the most hated player, and there's more players than content creators. So.
Okay. I mean, Kage's hated on. I like it. Why not?
that's a common thing in his video. He had a great long comments. Like, everyone knows you're the most hated player in the whole community. So it was pretty funny.
That's so funny to me that there's like anyone has the energy to hate someone like that. Like, who cares? Like, it's 90% a single player game anyways. So who cares if like Kage does this one thing or somebody else does this other thing, or like, just move on. Move on with your life.
Luckily, he has a way of instilling a lot of energy in people. I'll say that, if you want to spin it positively. He fills people with energy.
That's funny. He says he takes pride in knowing that. So Kage, I have to ask then, since you are like a top guild, would you want the guild bosses to have like a complete rework to anything in the neighborhood of what, Platt and I were just kind of talking about? Doesn't have to be exactly what we said, but anything in that kind of generic realm?
It's funny because I was talking to Kage while he's typing, and it's like, me and him are on the same page. We both want all gacha games to die. We want the genre of gacha to cease to exist in general. And it's like, but I make content for it. He's a top guild leader, and we're both like, gacha games are just predatory. They suck,
I know.
bro.
How are we going to get our YouTube checks, man, if that happens?
100%. I'll have to. No, you're right. I would have to. I mean, I would just make no money. I'd still make videos. I just don't know what on. That's what I'm doing today. I'm like, I've been sitting here for an hour. I'm like, what the heck do I make a video on?
Yeah, it's
There's nothing I want to talk about. Oh,
I know. I feel like every once in a while someone's like, why aren't you making this specific video on Persona? I'm like, sometimes I just kind of want to do something different. I don't want to make the next guide for the same thing.
And sometimes videos are just bad ideas. People don't think they are because they'll be hyper specific. Like, I don't want to say like making guides for weekly guild bosses is like a bad video to make. I don't mean it like that. But can you imagine being a full-time content creator creating guild bosses every week for the Persona 5 guild bosses? Like, that's just they're not going to happen. You're not going to find someone that's a full-time content creator doing that every week.
Yeah.
So like, that's what I mean when I say it's a bad. I was like, yeah, it doesn't really push the goal of being a content creator for me forward. So that's why I don't make those kinds of videos that are maybe that I could do. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to evaluate if you think your video might also help push your skill set or push your audience in a direction that you want it to go.
Well, that's things is like, I think viewers can tell, and everyone in chat, tell me if you disagree here, but I think they can tell when you're phoning in a video. Like, there's videos I just do not want to make. And if I make it, sure, I'll put it out there. I'll get 1,000 views or 2,000 views or whatever the views are going to be. But you can tell if I don't have the energy for it. If I'm just like, I'm doing this because I think it'll get views or whatever. It's like certain guides. Like, I'm never going to make the, original Tomoko guide. Why? Because 4 people are going to watch that thing, and maybe 10. I'll be generous. Maybe 10 people watch that thing. And so how much energy do you think I'm going to have producing that video and being authentic when I'm like, no one's going to watch this damn thing?
I think it depends. I think you give them a little too much credit. I think there's a point where people could tell if you're dreading doing something, or if you're like you're playing a game you don't want to play, or you're doing something you just don't want to do. Like that can kind of shine through.
Yeah.
But people, if you're a good enough, I don't know, at just hamming it up, like you can usually sell pretty well. Like one of my most my most popular video on YouTube is that Expedition 33 one. It's like 500,000 views, 600,000 views now. And that one, I was just kind of like, I don't even know if this will be a good video, but we'll just talk about it. And then comments are just like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It just blew up. Great video.
Yeah.
That was mostly like me accidentally stumbling upon. I think this is what makes good videos is when I try to keep track of friction points that I have when playing a game, and then make a video about that friction point once I'm past that friction point, basically, right? Because that's what people look up videos on, and that's what that video was. I was like, all right, when I started Expedition 33 Act 3, I went into like 5 fights and got 1 shot. And it's like, so what do I do? I bet a lot of people have frustrations with that. And so it was kind of like a spoiler-free way to say, like, hey, here's how to tackle the end game in a relatively safe order. That way you can actually progress, but not just like get destroyed over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's something I always ask myself when I'm making a video is what value does this bring the person watching it? And the value can be many different things. The value can be a guide, right? Hey, here's how to do a thing. Like I literally just launched it early for the members. Tomorrow's video for Arknight, which is the whole etching system to upgrade your weapons, right? It's something a lot of people haven't seen yet. They haven't gotten far enough in the game.
Is that the essences, or is that the one after the essences?
No, it's the essences, those little orb things you throw on your weapons. But there's a whole like system of upgrading those. And like there are efficient ways to do it in ways that are just going to burn your stamina for no reason. And so I'm like, hey, I know this. I fucked with this in beta. I'm going to put a video out there for it. So to me, like the value is you've learned something. There's also other videos where I contribute value in a sense of I want people to engage thought, right? And so like my is the game boring video is I actually thought that video was going to tank, to be honest, but it's a video around a way to make you think, and it kind of forms a sense of entertainment. And so the value is during that time frame, you're thinking, you're engaging, right? And that's probably one of my most engaged videos. Like I got something like over 120 comments in the first day. It was wild. But
that's huge.
Yeah, it was insane, dude. I thought it was going to flop, and somehow that became like a big video. I'm getting torn up in the stupid robot room right now. I'm trying to do this puzzle while we're talking, and my brain is not figuring it out. But in any case, and so like that's when, when I make a video, that's kind of what I look at. And then I also look at how much time do I estimate it's going to take me to film? And do I think it's worth that amount of time? Because that's time out of my life. That's time not with my children. That's time not with my wife. That's time not learning a skill. Because a lot of YouTube, and you know this, is learning skills. Like you have to learn how to make thumbnails, you have to learn how to edit, you have to learn how to speak to a camera, you have to learn how to light your office or whatever. There's a lot of additional skills that go into it. And I still actively pursue knowledge in those skills to become a better creator. And so, the video has to be, to me, worth my time against those other things I want to do.
I understand that. And I respect that. Typically, like that's why new games are so fun when they come out, is because it's not a matter of coming up with ideas. It's more about coming out with like what's the most important videos to come out with first, and in what order to come out with the videos.
Oh yeah.
It's like I want to make 100 videos, and out of these 100 videos, like I need these 20 need to all come out in this 5-day period, but that's too many videos for a 5-day period. So that kind of stuff is easy. Once I get a little bit later, like right now, I don't really feel like playing Arknights anymore. I'm done with it. CZN doesn't really have much going on. Persona doesn't have much until like maybe we hopefully get this patch. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. Like I still want to make videos because I feel like a failure when I don't make videos. Like it's a true like
that's a content
thing.
creator
like,
problem. Yeah.
Like I feel like I am not I've given up on my dream if I don't make videos. And so that's where you start to like, all right, well, what the heck can I make videos on? All right, let's just do a tier list. That's why like it's nice to save tier lists, until for downtimes or character guides. A lot of times
it's so funny because like tier lists are probably one of the most bullshit things we make in the gacha community. It really is. And they're the best performing ones. Every one of them performs well. Even if it's a joke one, like you and I have both done joke tier lists and still got a crap ton of views. Like just putting the word tier in the video description or title is like guaranteed to get views. It baffles me.
It's like I'll just put updated tier list or whatever, and then I'll get like 10 comments saying you don't need tier lists for this game, and but it's like 10,000 views in a day or something.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on? Like they just people click on them.
Oh, and they get engagement because someone's going to argue with you.
And that's why you make them. Maybe like they're also fun to make. It is fun to talk about every character in a relatively short amount of time, but it's more that like if no one ever watched them, they wouldn't be made. But that's the reason every content creator makes them, is because everybody watches them. Yeah,
and I mean there is, and I think most people probably understand this, but there is a certain amount of, you do have to play the YouTube game. Like at some point, if you want to keep creating content, you have to get views or YouTube will just stop really kind of promoting your stuff. And so when there's a low-hanging fruit like a tier list, like you are eventually going to make it. Or, pick whatever kind of game or genre or niche you're in, there's always going to be something that is well received by the community, and you're going to have to do it eventually. It's just, it's part of the game, realistically.
Yeah, and in order to get views, you either have to do something better than what someone else is doing. You have to be helping fill a void that there just isn't enough content for, or you have to do something no one else is doing. And doing something no one else is doing is way effing harder than, because imagine doing something literally. So like there are people that avoid the YouTube game, but they're like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000 content creators.
Oh yeah,
right?
You can only have so many Mr. Beasts.
They make one video every year and it gets 10 million views, and that's like they manage to like do this kind of thing, or like like the Mr. Beast style stuff. So most people are going to do more inside of what other people are already doing. And so in order to stand out, you kind of have to play the same game that they're playing, and try to play it either a little bit better. But this is the reason why you could be the 4th best or 5th best content creator for Persona and still get some views, because there's only like 4 or 5 content creators for Persona. Maybe there's more, but the point is it's not oversaturated. Where at Fortnite, like if I use my quality in Fortnite, there's like 100,000 incredibly good content creators, right? You don't get any views ever. So finding if you want to be a content creator, find the right niche where you don't need to be the best and still can get views, because it's not oversaturated. That's just a little bit of advice there.
Well, and the thing with, I think, gacha games in general is, so I'm not, and I don't know where you land in this mix, but I'm not at the level where companies will send me hey, we want you to promote this game for, $5,000, and then we don't care, just make 3 videos. If you watch a lot of, not even content creators for gacha games, just video game creators in general, you get people that never play gacha games that are all of a sudden like in the commercials or promoting them because they just have enough viewers and stuff like that. And then what always happens, and pick any gacha game, you can find the wave, is you have this rush of content creators that come in on the first 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, you've got your 5 or 6 that actually care about the game. And everyone else has moved on because they're taking the next contract for the next whatever game this game company wants them to shill out.
100%. I mean, you could even look at like Carbot animations. They're pretty big on
I love
the internet.
them.
And that's like, they did one for like Arknight's Enfield. They'll do one for like whatever. When like a really big like Hoyo game comes out or something like that, they'll do like a couple of these commercials basically for that. But it's like funny. No one really cares that it's a commercial because it's like entertaining. But that's like what it's for. And so a lot of content creators will get these big contracts to make like 1 or 2 videos for a game or something. And then there's people like Vulcan who just like, they're kind of just, they have a direct connection to like all kinds of devs and stuff. So they'll cover a game for each update. Like each update, they'll do 1 or 2 videos for the game, and then they'll kind of move on. Like he's doing more Etheria restart stuff, and that means he probably got a contract for it, stuff like that. And then you've got the chumps like us who end up playing games because they really, really fundamentally like the game, and it's not really about the money. And it's not that if it's about the money, it's a bad thing. Like some people are using it to pay their bills, and we're not as much using it to pay our bills.
Exactly. Yeah.
But so I don't disparage it or anything like that, but there is a point where that's why I have a really hard time making videos when I don't feel like playing a game that much anymore. It's because I'm not getting paid to play that game at all. I'm actually just like, well, I was doing this for fun, and now the fun's not there, so now why am I doing it?
Yeah. Well, and the content creator programs all suck. Like you might get some gems. Occasionally there's one that will give you like some amount of money, but I'll put it right out there. So I did on a certain game a whole bunch of hours of streaming, and it was a significant amount of hours, and I got $60. And you might like be like, ooh, $60, but divide that by over 30 hours of streaming, and that's nothing.
Yeah.
Like I could have just gone down the street and sold, some cookies with my kids and probably made more money. Like it was crap. And so
you, get a job
you don't
at
get much.
Domino's for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Do way, way, way better than that.
Yeah, and so it's not worth it to do that kind of. I was like, oh, you're a content creator. Now some give you a good. This fucking robot is in my way. Some give you like a good amount of gems in the game, and I think that's always nice because then you have a way to like pull units. But it sometimes baffles me that for how selective they can be on some of these content creator programs, that they're not just like, here's the characters, here's a test server for you to, build content, and you're just under an NDA. Like, cool.
Well, here we are in effing Persona, and they don't even have a creator program.
I know. They're like, fuck that.
They fooled around with it on Twitter, and they're like, wait, we just gave the same three content creators, 3 characters in a row. Maybe we should stop doing this. And so it's like, what? I can't believe that's so weird. It's like nominated for Game of the Year. Meanwhile, they don't support the content creators at all. And I'm not even saying money, but at least like gold currency to get the characters or something like that. Also, but people get so the non-content creators get so upset.
I know.
And like CZN has been super generous, where it's like they give you enough polls to get every single character in the game.
Oh, they were
nice.
Yeah. As long as you did their missions, man, they gave you so much stuff.
And people don't seem to care in that game, but I'll never forget Sword of Convallaria, right? People found out they got like 30k gems, and it was like people quit the game because content creators are getting like 30k gems or something like that.
Oh, it was a huge controversy.
And it's like, I remember, it was like me, you, RNJ, and like there was still just like, listen, we're not getting paid money, right? That's would you prefer we all got paid money? Because like
I couldn't even get an invite to their content creator program.
Yeah, okay, then maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was. But the point is, it was like neither did Hockey, and he's the only one still making videos for it. They never started it back up. They just ended it and were like, never mind, fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I will say, I don't like content creator programs in general. I do like getting characters for free. That's like okay, but
yeah.
I like getting paid more than I like getting free gems, because I feel like people feel like I'll see this in the CZN content creator program. People will be like, yeah, no, we're really like, there's a little bit of a self-importance thing. Is like, we're just advertisers, and we're not even paid advertisers. They're giving us their faux currency to pull characters so that we keep making videos for them. Like they're not actually making any money off of or spending any money on this, right?
Oh, yeah. And so few of them actually give us the assets that we need. Like I'm a content creator for
ever,
NTE.
Right?
Yeah. So I literally was talking to the devs at NTE the other day, or they're like big community managers for the devs. And I'm like, hey, you are starting beta in 5 or 6 days. Assuming we get into it, could you give us some PNG files? Like, or am I going to have to go take screenshots in the game and then spend my afternoon like creating my own PNGs, which takes some freaking time. I'm like, you clearly have the assets, just fucking hand them over.
AI might make it easier now, potentially, but it's still like, I still Google Images. Almost all my thumbnails are images from Google Images. Almost every single one.
Oh, mine are.
Like,
oh, God.
I don't want to put in the. I was saying I don't want to put in the effort. Although sometimes, this is why I like to message Vulcan if we're gonna play a game.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he's big enough where leakers will send him assets where they'll like data mine the assets from the game, and they'll just send it. Now I don't know if they'll send it to him, but somehow it gets around and bigger content creators will hear about it, and so you can sometimes find leaked assets. Like in CZN, I have like 50 characters that haven't been released yet. I just have their PNGs on my desktop. And I don't care about that because I don't like it when new characters come out in gachas for the most part, which is a very silly thing to say out loud. But the point is, like, I don't need to worry about those thumbnails at least. Yeah,
it's funny because like Arknights has a creators program that I'm in, and they make it so cumbersome to get the gems that I just am not participating. Like I still go over there and ask them for the assets because like they actually tried to give us some assets, but they haven't updated it since beta. I'm like, the game launched. Like, could you maybe give us something that's not from beta? But like it's basically free advertising for them, and they somehow made it more convoluted to use their content creator program than it's actually worth me like dealing with mentally. I'm like, I just won't. Like I'm good. Like I don't need 1,000 gems or whatever the hell they're gonna give me for it.
I'm over Arknights now, and that's not for the parts of, I really liked a lot of parts of the game, but like what you're saying there just kind of, to me the whole game feels a little overdeveloped. Like it feels like they put too, like there was a point where it's like when I logged on and I wanted to build something in my factory. But before I could do that, I'm like, let's just do the daily chores, get them out of the way. In order to fully do the daily chores in a way that I don't feel like I'm wasting resources was so cumbersome. I was like, I don't really need to get all these pink mushrooms for like the lower level characters, but they're sitting there. I should just go pick them up. They're time gated. Maybe I do need them. Maybe they give me a way to convert them into higher ones later. So I went and grabbed that. Then I did the delivery quest, and then I did the daily missions, and then I had to go and buy the depot, things, then go to a friendship and do that. Then I had to give the friends their stuff to make sure they were getting theirs thing. Then I had to go. I'm just like, I don't want to fucking play anymore. It was like there's too much dumb little things that they wanted me to do, and they weren't necessary. But like when you're trying to min-max a factory, you have the kind of brain that wants to min-max things. And so I felt like an idiot for not doing those things, but then I couldn't have fun while doing those things. I felt like the game was they put too much crap in the way of the fun stuff.
Yeah, I do agree with that to an extent. Maybe not, it doesn't bother me quite as much, but like I spent maybe, I don't know, an hour and a half earlier today just running around and setting up some zipline routes, because those delivery things you're talking about, one of them has it from the north end of the map, and the person you deliver to is always on the south end. And when you rank up your stuff enough, you're not allowed to get hit. You have to teleport or jump. Yeah. And I'm like, how literally there's a part of that map you can't get through without jumping. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? And so I went and set up all the zipline routes in that area just to bring me to the people that I could deliver to. Because I'm like, I can't be asked to run around for 20 minutes to find a spot that I can't jump so that I don't lose, 50,000 stock bills. But yeah, that kind of stuff I agree with you. That kind of stuff is incredibly tedious. To the point of like, I'm kind of in the same place where I've got a couple other characters I want to prep for Yvonne when she comes out. And then I don't have any low level characters I care enough about to be bothered to spend 10 minutes a day on my zip lines going to A, B, C, and D. Like that part is not fun. That part is not fun.
Because I got like 20 million of the green stock bills or whatever. And I was like, well, what do I even do with these? I don't even really need them for anything anymore. And then it's like, I knew it would reset when I went to Wu Ling. What I didn't expect is that I wouldn't be excited. I was like, it was more like, oh, now do it all again. It felt like I made no progress. It was like, oh, now I got to do it again. And now that whole first zone feels like it doesn't really matter because this is now all the high level stuff, right? And then eventually they're going to release another world that's probably going to be all the high level stuff. And so it feels like it keeps resetting my progress instead of it mattering. So I have fundamental issues with the game, even though I had a huge amount of fun, and I think it's really good. I hit the most sudden wall of like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. And I think it really comes down to, I think there was a little too much stuff in the way of the fun parts of the game. And I thought the combat was terrible. Like a 2 out of 10 is what I gave it. And realistically, I think it's a 4 out of 10. 2 out of 10 was a little inflammatory. But I was just like, oh, I'm not having fun with the combat. And I'm trying to put down zip lines. Every time I have to stop of running a power line because some enemy is there, I'm like, this is annoying me.
That was annoying.
It was, yeah, it doesn't matter. I didn't like the combat myself, but I already knew I wouldn't. I don't like Genshin Impact. I don't like Wuthering Waves. I don't like Zenless Zone Zero. I didn't like Tower of Fantasy. I don't like any of those combats like at all. So I already knew this wasn't for me. I don't like Devil May Cry, right? So I already knew going in that I wouldn't like the combat, but I thought I thought maybe it wouldn't bother me as much.
Yeah, as it did. I maybe give the combat 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. And I like it more, just generically speaking, I think you do in terms of like that style of combat, but it's not, the depth in it is more on whether or not you understand how to assign your teammates. And like the order that they appear in the team window actually matters. And they don't ever, for all the fucking tutorials they give you, they don't give you that tutorial. And people don't realize that changes the order of your combos. And like, because like if I have Chen and Pog,
they'll show up if you have 2 triggers off the same thing. They'll trigger in different orders.
Yeah, whoever's on the farther left of that screen will go first. And on some party compositions, that actually makes a huge difference, like a massive difference, because it'll change. The example I always use is I always want Panda to go before Chen, because Panda only does his combo when you're at 4 vulnerability. And so I want to use that And then Chen always gives one vulnerability. So if I use her first, I've wasted a vulnerability stack. Completely just useless. So I want her to always go after Panda. But again, it's just ironic that for all the tutorials, that's the one they didn't put in that I can't find anywhere. But
yeah, that's a good like 5 things you missed. Like that's
Yeah.
a perfect kind of video for like things you didn't know about. Maybe I'm gonna steal that right now. No,
Go for it.
I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to.
I don't
But
care.
that is like some. I'm just gonna write down 5 tips, but not for that game. I'm gonna do one for CZN.
There you go. But and then the other thing is like there is a little bit more to be understood in terms of the way to set certain combos up or certain interactions, but it's never that deep. And it always comes down to as well the difficulty, and the game is just not hard. I mean, I don't want to say like some people suck at games. Like I'm not trying to say it in that regard, but the difficulty curve never ramps up. And you never get to a point that you even need like the level 80 gear. And so then when you get the top end sets, it just makes you demolish it faster. And that's why like everyone's arguing with me about Lavatane. And they're like, why did you pull Pog's weapon over Lavatane's weapon, which is limited? I'm like, because I don't want to play her. Like she's not interesting to me. She's not fun. Pog and Panda are. And so why wouldn't I go for the weapon for the character I actually want to play? Like to me, that makes more sense, right? But yeah, it's super interesting to me. The fights people will go into that. They're like, but this person can clear it 8 seconds faster. I'm like, but I don't
I got
care.
so many comments because in my like kind of review of the game, I gave like combat a 2 out of 10, and I said even in the video, I'm like that's probably extreme. I'm probably just in a negative attitude. It's probably closer to like a 4 out of 10. But like so many people are like, you don't like the combat because you're playing it wrong. You know, it's like I got like that like 10 times,
Yeah.
and it's like the combat's really deep and complex. You're just not using a synergistic team. Like one, I've played more than what you're seeing on the screen. First of all,
Yeah.
2. My team is very synergistic, and if you don't understand why it's synergistic, then maybe you haven't used them. And 3, it's not that deep.
No.
It's really not that deep. Like I play like I'm not a genius. I'm an idiot in a lot of ways, but I play real
Agreed.
deep strategy games, you know? Like games that are actually like I'm going to lose because it's just like they're very difficult, really thinking through tactical experiences.
Yeah.
This game is really not that complex to figure out how to make something functional. So I thought that was funny. If people were dying on the hills, like, no. You have an unsynergistic team. You're just playing it wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, they just don't want they just think the combat's fun because I don't know, maybe they haven't played a lot of games like this.
Yeah. I did this on stream a couple streams back. I should clip it and put it on a short or something, but I have Lavatane. I have her team. And granted, her team isn't fully built out, but you're not using her team for damage. You're using her team for their effects to set her up. So they could be level 1 and still do their job. And so I go into this one daily mission, and I've run it with the Lavatane team, who is meant to be this massive AoE. Okay. And it took like a minute to get through. Could you get through it? Absolutely fine, whatever. And this was a level 80 mission when I'm at level 60 and everybody's in level 60 gear, so the footing is equal, okay? I then did the same exact mission with my Pan team and beat it in like 15 seconds. And they're not an AoE team. Like so everybody can AoE to an extent because like a lot of your attacks can like hit like a small area. So if you group things together, they kind of become AoE. Not every character does that, and this was me just trying to be like, people, stop telling me that the pound is trash. Remember, I played this game for a month in beta and had almost every character. I was missing one freaking character. So I've got experience with all of these different compositions. I'm like, the thing is you can make really good teams if you understand the interactions. Like, it doesn't have to be the freaking 6-star limited character to all of a sudden be quote unquote good, right?
Yeah.
So
it's not brain dead combat. I don't want to
No.
give it like that kind of thing, but like if you just read, all right, do these characters do things that will trigger each other's combo skills,
Mm-hmm.
and then you consider which should be my controlled operator primarily.
Yeah.
You know, like if you can answer those 2 questions, you're pretty set. You know, and for the most part, right now.
Yeah, Larry just said the damage on my Pan team was absurd. He needs to go watch the VOD again. And the best part about that is I actually made a mistake on my combo that cost me damage, which is the funniest part. I'm like, well, there's other people, like I don't have Last Right, and I want her. There's a video out there right now that I watched, and I knew this was possible. I just haven't had it. This is the one character I haven't had to actually be able to do this with. she can hit almost 1,000,000 damage in one move if you set her up correctly. And I'm like, so who gives a shit if Lavatane can do it? Like, so many characters can do it. And the game is fundamentally friendly from that perspective, because you could just not pull on any of the limited banners and have a team that can do 1,000,000 damage.
It's like in the game, people. I feel like people might think I didn't enjoy the combat because I thought it was hard, but it was kind of the opposite. I was like, if I 99% of the content, if I hold down this button, the click button on my mouse, I just hold that down and then I hit shift every now and then to dodge. Like, I'll get through it. It's just a matter of time before I get through it. It may not be fast, but like, I don't know. I definitely have my issues with Arknights. I think it's a really good game, free to play. I think it's the factory stuff is so fun, but I just hit a wall really quick where I was like, I don't think I want to log in today. And that's a pretty bad thing for me to get a weekend. I
think that the funniest thing about the factory system, because the factory is my favorite part of the game, outside of maybe some exploring when you first get to like a new area, say in Wuling. I think that the factory is almost like the best advertisement to go get a real factory sim game. Like, it makes me want to go download Factorio. Like, that's what it does to me.
Because it's not a bad factory game, but it is the worst factory game, I would say, probably. I will say it does something that I like more than Factorio or Satisfactory. It does one thing that I like more than those games. It doesn't make your resources limited in like the nodes, and it doesn't make it so power is really annoying to keep on. Like in Satisfactory, if you're using like water or coal, like there's a lot of machines going on, and so like you'll get these big power fluctuations of like, and sometimes all your shit will die, and you're like, oh, I gotta go mine ore to feed this, just to get things powered on so you can make more factories. I don't like the power grid system in Satisfactory. And in Factorio, if you want to do a factory game, you're constantly running out of resources, so you have to go to new areas, and you're constantly under attack, which can be really fun, and it's enjoyable. But if you're just trying to just zone out on a factory, it actually does it pretty well. But my God, what is this game? Arknights?
Yeah.
Give us level 2 belts. Just give us level 2
belts.
belts.
Let it go faster.
Is that too complex? I mean, it's not even that. It's just about faster. It's like there's not even a point for splitters. Almost there's like 2 use cases for splitters. But if you have belts that go at 1 a second, you now get to do, because if it's able to get resources at 1 a second, right? Most machines use 0.5 a second. So now with 1 depot node, you could split it right away to get 2 different machines running instead of needing to run 2 depot nodes running through each other. It would make everything cleaner, faster. It would give more use to all the things. You might actually want convergers, because maybe now they go in, they feed 2 half nodes.
That's got to be the most useless thing in the whole factory.
They put it in there because it's in other factory games, but other factory games need it because you have belts of varying speeds. That can move things at different things.
It just slows it down in this game in Arknights.
There's almost no situation where you actually want to have a converger in this game, because I actually can't even think of the case, because the belt can't move things faster than 0.5 a second. So if it's moving something more than 0.5 a second, why do you need a converter? Or a converger? I
do like, I'll say that they kind of did something different in the genre though. Like it is nice and refreshing to see something that it is different than what anyone else is doing. Now, will it continue to work? I don't know. I think a lot of it's going to come down to, if you think about kind of the arc of the game, right? You go to Valley 4, you do the
Arc Knight.
Exactly. You go through Valley 4, you build those machines to get that economy going, which is important because, it's actually my video for tomorrow, but there's these tickets you need to get the essences, and they're super expensive. So if you've got a shitty economy, like you are not
600,000 each, right?
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. And so you do need it, but once you get to the point that you have set that up, you no longer need to worry about it. Like I'm actually getting to the point now where I'm probably not far off from being able to wipe out the 3 outposts every day with my sales. Like, and waiting for them to actually make more money. And so
agreed. I basically have that set up, and then I stopped progressing because I was like, I got them all to level 4, and I was like, I'm good. I'm making enough money right now.
Yeah. Well, and then you have you go to Wuling, and what I like about Wuling, among other things like the actual environment, is they do a good job at differentiating the reason you have a factory. And so you have different things you can make, obviously, and that's where you're gonna go make your gold gear, which is, you know, the end game gear. What does this thing tell me to grab? And then you do it with like fluids and whatever else. And so they don't just give you like the same machines. They do give you the most, I would say, ridiculous transfer. So it's kind of funny. This is a tip I'll have to put on like a 5 tips thing, like you were saying. But they have it with your depot or your 2 AIC factories that you can transfer goods from one to the other. But it's on like a time limit, and it reduces how many you can do. So I can't just give you 40,000 ore, right? But if you go to your ship, you can access both of your depots. And so you could just pull the stuff from one depot into your inventory and then push it into your other depot. So it's like it bypasses the whole system they fucking built, which is kind of funny.
I think that's because, what's your exploration level?
I'm level, I'm maxed out in Valley 4, level 12 or whatever it is. And then all my things are 4.
You hit level 12 in Valley 4. I believe when you, because then you get the upgrade that's like the meta depot. I think that lets you bypass it as well once you get to level 12. I think it combines all the depots into one thing. But like, you're exactly like you're saying. Maybe I misunderstood it because I'm only at level 11. But it's like, yeah, because it was like, oh, you could transfer 1,000 every hour or something like that. But yeah, then you went to the ship and you could just do any amount you want at any volume, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're limited by your inventory stack itself, but you could just keep pulling things across. Yeah. So you just stand there like boo doo 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 doo. But
that's so funny because I think at level 12 they also kind of like remove that system.
Yeah.
Once you get there, but
yeah,
maybe I'm mistaken.
Mark is reminding me to talk about the banner change system or order for P5X. So first I'll give you my prediction. I think that they'll do Chinese New Year Rin after Tempest because that aligns to Chinese New Year. It's within a couple days of the actual holiday itself, so it makes sense to me. Then I assume they'll go back to Kasumi, and then they'll go into probably Matoi and then Akechi. So that's the order I think they'll do if everyone wants to know what my actual order is. But more fundamentally, outside if I take away my own disappointment because I wanted Kasumi because she's one of my favorite characters in this game as far as building teams around, I love the chaos. I love that they're shifting it up. I don't even care what the reasons are. They could have just been like, we did it because we don't like you today. They could be like, on a Thursday, we decided to mess with you, and I would still think it's a great reason. Because the thing about having foresight is it makes so much of this boring. I want things to be different.
It removes so much theory crafting and interesting things where people don't need to evaluate things when they come out. Like this is one of the things, like you could tell in an initial launch of the game, like month-long banners, like when you don't know what's coming out, is kind of necessary because some people pull, then word starts getting around, then you decide if you're going to do your resources. But when we already know for months if we're going to pull which characters and not which characters, like if the banner was 24 hours long, most people, not everyone, most would still get their polls in because everyone's already made their decision before the banner ever comes out. Then, of course, the 30 days does allow you to get more free-to-play currency and do more polls. I'm not saying that. Of course, it's still good to have long banners. But the idea is, I bet, like, you look at it's like 90% of polls happen within the first 2 days, you know, as opposed to
absolutely.
And when CN it comes out, I bet it takes a couple of weeks for people to decide if they want to go in on this character or not, if it is worth it.
Yeah, you know, there's going to be a batch of people on CN that are like waiting for the first few power gamers or content creators or whatever to pull the character and see if they're like actually what's up. And then they're like, okay, now I'll spend my resources. They sound like they're a broken unit. And no, I love playing games that don't have foresight. It was the same problem with the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. We had almost a year or so of foresight, and so you either played that game one of two ways. You went to the meta, or because there's so many characters, you played for your favorite series. And so like I was big on building teams around Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 13. And I didn't give a shit if they're meta or not. I would just play the damn characters. But, you know, a lot of other people like, oh, I've got to pull on Agrius or I've got to pull on Ramza, you know, whoever, right? And so it was the same thing. Like it took out, and granted I didn't create content for that game, but it took out some of the fun of now we've got a character reveal. We didn't know who was coming and we don't know what their kit might be. And then you have like a couple days of discourse of, oh, do you think there'll be this kind of character? Do you think there'll be a support? Whatever. You know, just like when we got the twins, we're all like, oh, like how fun was it to be like, did you catch this in the screenshot? And like, I paused the frame in one of my videos. I'm like, look over here. I can see that the highlight's critting. Like, did you catch that? Like, that was fun. And then to have them come out and be like, okay, mathematically, I understand what the multipliers are, but is that actually practically good? And so I don't know. I'm all
It was
for
fun.
it.
The,
Yeah.
the twins drop-in was probably the most fun thing, which is I think they're going to keep doing Velvet Attendants as maestros or whatever they're called, virtuosos.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if we look at the gacha revenue for Persona, like the twins were probably massive.
When I think they
revenue.
probably made the revenue in the couple patches afterwards better because people bought for the twins, I bet. And then they used resources they were holding onto for the next banner. And they're like, well, shit, now I got to buy the next pack because I ran out of stuff on the twins. I was, chasing what we heard. Bear said A1 is great, so I chased an A1. So yeah, I think it probably significantly helped the revenue. I'm curious what the revenue reports will say.
Yeah, let me take a look at Persona Phantom X.
CJ.
We did about 3. This says about 3 million last month and about 2.1 million in January. I don't remember when the twins came out, so maybe
Last
it
month.
actually wasn't.
They came out
Maybe it
last
wasn't
month.
actually that
Yeah.
good. Oh, okay.
And some people are saying like they like the foresight because they can plan it. I think that as a free-to-play player or a low spender, I think that it's definitely valuable to have some foresight from that perspective. Like I don't disagree with that at all. But I think for me, and this is a personal opinion, I think for me, I like the theory crafting. I like the guesswork. It's the same reason like if I play like a strategy game, I like when I get a new character, like for example, in, I don't know, Fire Emblem, because I'm like, oh, do I think this character is going to be good? Like I look at their kit, I'm like, oh, what is their master path going to be, or whatever. And I enjoy kind of having to rub my two brain cells together to figure out what might be good.
I got nothing to add to that. I was going to complain about something, and I decided, you know what?
Damn it.
Let's not complain. Let's not complain about anything else. I complain a lot about Persona 5 because where's the game I don't complain about that much? Etheria Restart. You know why? Because I don't play it, and I don't really care about what they do.
Yeah.
I care about Persona 5, so that's why I kind of complain about it. And everyone knows what the really good parts of the game are. So
Sure.
I feel like everyone's like, hey, guess what? Palaces are good. It's fun to use characters you like. It's a really fun world to just be in. Collecting the Labubus is fun. Like there's a lot of like aspects of the game that are awesome. And so it's like, how many times do I want to repeat that versus how many times do I want to, but I should complain less. Like I've been getting on it not lately. It's like, I don't like the Mindscape existing even in the first place. Like I was on the Mindscape in Astrolab and now I'm off the Mindscape in Astrolab, but
Yeah.
that's all right. Different strokes, different folks,
Whatever. I like Astro Labubu. That's my jam. And that's what I'm calling it from now on. Because I get tired of people telling me it's Labe. I don't give a shit. Like
Astrolab is fun.
Yeah.
My only issue with it is the time gated turns, is like the 6 turns to clear it.
Yeah.
I don't like, again, it just because this makes it feel like guild bosses. It's still like, hey, do as much damage you can in 6 turns. Although it's just like now instead of getting that min-maxing the score, you just have to clear it. But it's not about, do you ever have to worry about surviving? Like I didn't have to worry about surviving in any of the fights. Like it was just like, I need to make sure I hit these damage numbers in this amount of time. That's all I care about. And so that part for me is annoying. I don't like turn limits in every single mode. As some modes, I don't mind it. Maybe guild battles it stays, but it's like every mode for every system is always restricted by these really tight turn limits. Like, why did you build a game around Fox being bad? Like, I don't understand why you build Fox. I don't know why you put a character like Fox out and then ensure that the core gameplay mechanics of every stage you build is built completely to make him bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I still think they'd have, I would love more modes that are like, I don't mind turn limits if it's something like, hey, you've got this massive attack coming your way. You have to live 15 rounds or whatever, before it explodes. And in that time frame, you have to do X amount of threshold damage. So like the damage doesn't become the only focus. It's still, you still have to do damage, but like, can Fox keep you alive that long? Can Cherish keep you alive that long? Stuff like that gives value to other types of units that aren't damage or the direct support of that damage.
But again, like it's all about context. Is like, if I'm playing Final Fantasy VIII, I'm going through the game, having a great time. And then I get to Odin, and it's like Odin's going to use an attack that kills me on turn 4. He's going to kill the entire team.
Yeah.
and you can't revive through it. It's like this is a gimmick for this fight that's interesting and engaging, as
Yeah.
opposed to being the core mechanic of the whole battle system, right?
Yes, yes.
It's like it doesn't feel like this tacked on thing to make me have to spend on DPSs to make sure that I'm always hitting the new damage numbers that they need me to hit.
Well, just more.
It feels like it restricts the flexibility of your teams.
Well, it makes it more interesting too when you can do stuff like that. Like speaking of Final Fantasy VIII, it's like, do you remember in the very, very early game, you go over, it's like your first training mission, and you have that spider tank thing chasing you through the city? And like
Yes,
you would fight it for like a
love that.
round or two, and then you were like, fuck, get out of here, and then you'd run, and then it would catch up to you somewhere else. Like that was cool. And you just basically wanted to survive and get away.
That's why I love Final Fantasy VIII. It's like the most cinematic Final Fantasy game up until like it maybe 10 is more cinematic, but 8 has some of these. You're actually moving around in these cutscenes that are like crazy. When that spider is chasing you in the beginning of the game,
yeah,
there's a lot of moments like that throughout the game. Maybe not quite that like level, but that is so like mind blowing when you're a kid.
That
You're like,
moment grabs
holy
you.
shit.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I love Final Fantasy VIII, but yeah, I will say Persona did disappoint me when I went into the shop and I saw that you could buy the Astrolab currency. Maybe I should have assumed that, but I was like, oh, this will be a time-gated resource. And the way that they'll charge you for it is by making it really hard to clear. That way whales can clear it, other people won't clear it.
Yeah.
Instead, they made it not easy, but they made it where most players will be able to clear most of it. It's time-gated, but now you could spend $100 a patch to like buy more of this currency. And I'm like, it makes the whole it makes the Mindscape for me feel like just a way to make more money, as opposed for me to, instead of a way for me to make my Sepia stronger and more cool and engaging, it's a way for whales to spend money to make sure they're still being competitive.
I wonder how easy people think it is, because like you and I, we understand the game, the mechanics. We have a good, list of our roster. I have every character, so I've got every tool in my toolkit. But I've had, like, I think about some of the comments I get on videos, and I still get people asking how to beat the second palace boss. And they're like, I've been here since launch, and I have this, and this character. I'm like, unless you're not leveling him to 80, like, you literally have every tool in 7 different varieties to do this. And then I have some other people, like, I have every character in the game, but I can't get through Astrolab. What should I do? And I'm like, you literally have the entire toolkit. Like, I don't know how to help you.
There is a point where it's like you can't fix stupid, and I know it's not polite to call someone that can't clear the second palace stupid, but if you have level 80 characters and you can't clear it, there's a point it's like you're just not reading or something. You're doing something where you are really, really not paying attention at all. You're not seriously engaging with it, or you are just an unintelligent person, which I'm willing to help you. But try putting it on auto, because you'll clear it. Like that's why they have that button there,
Yeah.
But honestly, Astrolab was easy. It wasn't actually easy. I actually think it was relatively hard. It was like the hardest content they've released so far for sure.
Yeah.
But that's only to do 13 willpower. If you're willing to do it in 17 willpower, it really wasn't that bad.
Well, and so there was a comment just now that was saying that, I don't like how it's impossible for the final Astrolab stages if you don't have the specific character for the stage. I mean, there's two things there. One is having the specific character just gives you a better chance of doing it in one shot. It is not impossible to beat any one of these nodes without the featured character. Like, as an example, I think, honestly, the hardest node in this current season is in the middle, and it's the Joker node for clearing it with one turn. Or one attempt, right? Do you know what the second best team is on that node that most people don't think about? Wonder DPS.
Haru.
Nope. Wonder DPS.
Wonder, okay.
You throw Wonder in there with Yoshitsune, and you can clear that in one attempt. But a lot of people, I think, don't realize that flexibility. And that's the whole thing that this entire thing rewards you with, is understanding how to get around your own limitations. It is obviously built for people to pull. The game's got to teach you. The game's going to have to attract people to spend some amount of money, or it'll die, right? And so, yes, it's easier if you have the. What's that?
What was the left side Astrolab?
That was, I think, the. Let me see. It was the twins one, I think. Yeah. When allies other than Wonder deal almighty damage. So this is another one where. So the only almighty damage we have are the twins in Mesa. right now, I think, right?
Yeah, twins, Sepia,
And Mesa.
one and Wonder who doesn't do it, and it doesn't. He does it, but he doesn't count.
Yeah.
And then does Mesa do
Yeah, I
almighty
think.
damage?
Yeah, his bleeds are almighty, I think.
Okay.
I'm
Then
trying to remember who else.
so-
Yeah.
But it's still it wouldn't really matter because it's an AOE fight, right?
Yeah, but the thing is it's the way that it works. Like, let me go
You just
back
have to
into
do
it.
almighty once, and then
Then you get the then you get
damage.
then you get the benefit. So you don't have to do so. It's when allies other than Wonder deal almighty damage with skill or one more attacks, the party's final damage is increased by 60% for 2 turns. So obviously the twins are the best one, but if you go with anybody that has an almighty attack, it gives you that benefit. And so the point is to trigger the effect and then blow shit up, right? But again, like, you're going to do better if you have all the characters, of course. But I don't think that this is a mode that can't be at least completed. And I also don't think it's bad if people who aren't pulling a lot of characters can't do everything in one round. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I agree, but I would have agreed stronger had they not sold the currency, because now it feels like now if you aren't able to clear it, maybe you're more tempted to buy the currency so you don't feel like you're falling behind. And like, if to me it felt like that was a good way to, because I don't know, once they started selling currency in the shop as a way to get it to bypass Astrolab, I felt like that kind of undermined the need for it to be difficult, because that was the whale test. I felt like it could have been, if you want to get them all, you have to have a really, really wide roster of characters and a really, really well-built account. Now it's like the whales, the dolphins, and the day one players all get it for free in general, because it's not that hard.
Yeah.
And you could now the whales can buy more. So I don't know. To me, that kind of just like undermined it a little bit.
What do those packs
but,
cost? I'm curious.
They're $40, $40 and $50. It's
Holy
like $100
shit.
a patch.
How many do you get? I mean, that's actually, I mean, I don't think it's a great value,
you
but
get
it's
more than you get from the Astrolab.
Yeah, you get 10 of the Venus gems.
And I think this is the second time it's been up. So you could have already spent $200, and you could have already have gotten like 4 Astrolab rotations worth of currency by spending versus actually doing the mechanic.
Or you could spend $53 and get a couple good indie games.
True, exactly. But what I was going to say is, like, on the right node, the one that was for Haru, I used the twins, right? I just used the twins to clear. I completely ignored it. It was like,
what did I use on that one?
You need to use I tried with the Joker team, wasn't even close. Then I tried with my Ann team, like full A6 Ann with an R0 weapon, and I used the whole fire team. I didn't have Howler, but I used that, and then it wasn't even close. Then I used the Haru team, wasn't even close. So then I just used the twins. The twins obliterated it, like just ignoring the mechanics, because they just did a lot of damage. And in the middle node, I used Sepia. I don't even know who you're supposed to use in that one, but Sepia just destroyed the single target boss, no problem at all. It was the easiest node in the entire thing for me.
Yeah, that one is each time an ally does damage to a foe, the ally's final damage is increased. So it wants you to do anyone who has multiple attacks. I think, honestly, unless you had Frostgale Mont, the best unit is probably Fleuret for that node. And everyone has Fleuret.
Sepia does more damage than Fleuret, and he hits more times.
Oh, does he hit more times? I didn't realize
that.
He
hits 5 times every turn, always guaranteed.
Oh, okay, then he'd be fantastic.
Sometimes he hits more.
Yeah, so there's a tool where it's like, okay, if you didn't pull, I mean, I went in there and just brutalized it. I used Frostgale Mont, Cord, the twins, and Futaba. Like, I just destroyed that damn thing.
The hardest one. It was actually one of the easier nodes for me. Yeah, the far right one was harder, because like that's where I felt like Astrolab wasn't easy. I felt like it was hard. The fact that my built and team couldn't even get close felt like there's something wrong here. You know, it's like, how does an A6 and with her weapon and a full, like, I was using Key and Lufel with a support Wonder, but I was like, how does this not even get close? Like, it was like not even 2 willpower I think would have gotten it. Maybe it was. Maybe they had like 30% HP left at the end, but like
there's two.
It wasn't nowhere on the level of where it needed to be.
Yeah, there's 2 comments that I'll bring up here. One is, just having FOMO because you can't get the badge. And I think that's fair, but it's also like, from a gacha game perspective, I anticipate eventually there's always going to be something that is going to be like that, like a badge or a marker or like a, character outline or some bullshit like that. That is like basically your way of saying, look, I paid for stuff. I bought something.
Did you buy the Wonder outfit? If you didn't, you can't get all the
collectibles. Yeah, I don't have the beach outfit, so I already am missing certain things. And then the other one is easily my favorite mode, but I hate the time gating. And that is the part I hate. Like, I honestly don't understand why they have it where it like recharges every week. Like, just open the map, and if I want to blitz through that in an afternoon, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm cool with that. Like
100%. I think it's for engagement value, because they know that there's like, maybe it's a dull patch and people aren't going to log in as much, but then now they're forcing you to log in. Like, I'm sure they do it because it works, but it definitely hampered the enjoyment of it a little bit.
I think it's that, and I think that they know, like, if you consider the fact that it lasts a month, they're probably planning, oh, well, node 3 is more tied to a character that comes out in 3 weeks.
That isn't out yet. Yeah, that's a little. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt that they want to do something that scummy, but I guarantee
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, because the whole mode just has a flavor of it's like diet guild boss. You know, it's like it's not the same amount of calories. You know, it's not quite the same thing, but it's really stages built for specific characters with very tight time limit requirement, where you have to DPS it down. It's like it feels like Guild Boss, you know, but they copy my homework kind of Guild Boss. You know, don't make it too obvious.
I kind of like the way that you described that, yeah, because it does have a lot of similarities to Guild Boss. I'm just now realizing you can go into the school and actually buy bread. Not that I want to, but like, I'd never actually know it was a thing. There's like an actual school store you can go into in the game. I'm like wandering around the school.
There's you could do that in Persona 5, so I thought they added that specifically for that. But for the collectible thing, like, don't look at, like, again, like with the Wonder outfit, the Velvet Room outfit, like there's Labubus that you could put on your shelf that you can only get if you get that outfit.
Yeah.
There's multiple pay only like collectible things for your shelf in general, and so it's like that they will ensure that there is something somewhere that you won't be able to get without spending money, because FOMO is powerful. I think
absolutely
you really need to look inside and realize none of it matters at all.
I'll give people a little bit behind the scenes. Like, Perplatypus and I were talking before the podcast, and we got onto the topic of like Buddhism and impermanence and attachment. And just like, we talk about so much random stuff, guys. And it's totally that, because gacha games to me are like the epitome of impermanence and attachment, because you get so attached to the game and you know the game will not be forever. Like, it is never going to last forever. Every one of these games is going to EOS at some point and then be completely unable to log in and get your account back. And so it's like, yeah, I wish I had the badge, but eventually I'm going to be wishing the game was still even around. So fuck the badge, right?
It's like, I don't know, you can even make it a point of pride to not have the badge. You know, it's look what I wouldn't gloat that over people, because it's like, it's again, just like gloating having the badge would be cringe, gloating not having the badge would be cringe as well.
Yeah.
But there is a point where it's like, you could take pride in like, no, I don't need to do everything. I'm playing. If you're playing the game and you're getting more enjoyment than the people next to you, then you are playing the game better than they are, in my opinion. You are getting more out of it than they are, no matter how much currency they get. If you're having more fun playing the game, that should be your measure of success, not you've collected all you've spent 6 hours doing some shit you hate so you can have some collectible that you don't need.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, fair more. I think also I'm just getting old and don't give a shit about half the stuff anymore. I'm like, whatever.
You know, I cared when I was younger. Like in Dragon Quest Tact, I was like, I will do whatever it takes to make sure I get every badge in the game, because that was like a big deal to me. And then I was like, I'm not having fun going for these badges.
Yeah.
So then I kind of stopped. And then once I didn't have one, it felt good. Like, now I don't ever need to worry about getting any of the badges ever. And then I just did the parts that I liked until the game sucked.
Oh,
because Gachas age pretty badly in general. But
yeah, they really do. I remember, because in the City of Final Fantasy, because I was one of the people that's like, I followed it in Japan for like a year before it came out. I'm like, I hope they bring this to the US. And then they finally did. And I, perfectly cleared every single stage, every single star, and everything else that you could do, up until the first time they basically made a character that was mandatory to finish a specific fight. I mean, if you were like super lucky, you didn't need the character, but it was, God, who was it? She was from Final Fantasy IV. But in any case, the fight was against Sephiroth. And there was a mechanic in the fight that she was the only character that could counter it. And if you didn't have her, you were basically boned. And so I couldn't pull her. I didn't have the gems. I didn't want to pull her anyways. And I couldn't get past like the very last stage, which is basically like a badge run, right? Like at this point, I've already gotten all the other stuff that's worth getting. And it was so freeing because after that patch cycle, I'm like, I don't have a perfect game anymore. Like, I don't care. Like now if I fail a fight later, like, cool. It's just one more for the belt, right?
I'm gonna be a little cringe. I'm just gonna say part of, for me, let's not project onto other people. I'll say part of, for me, growing up and maturing was realizing that none of that shit really matters. That's not to say I don't have fun going for things like 100%ing Metaphor Refantasio. Certain times, certain guild bosses I want to do really well, or I want to get the super badge, like clear level this on that. Like you can have fun, but there is if you are able to identify where the fun stops and where you're doing it because you're being manipulated by the game and like FOMO, if you're able to identify FOMO and realize that it's powerless and it doesn't mean anything, I think that'll help with your maturity in general. Just because you could apply that to a lot of things in life. That's like the living in competition kind of thing in life instead of going for your peace of mind. And that's kind of where my philosophy comes down to, is I want my peace of mind more. That's why I'm a janitor,
so much,
right?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to become the CEO of a company. I'm just a janitor. I'm not trying to get to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm just making videos that I like. I'm not not chasing after what other people think you should have or how you present yourself to other people, and instead deciding for yourself ahead of time what it matters to you, and then chasing that, I think, is what's important.
I'm going to come back to that point, but I just want to answer someone's question really quick. They asked, is joining a good guild even worth it to do? I have on my screen here, strategic, all the rewards you get for being in a guild, and they're garbage. So join a guild either for the fun. Like I will say I very much enjoy the guild, that we've built here within the community, because we talk on Discord, we share, resources in terms of like sharing units. We sometimes poke fun at each other, like, oh, I beat this person, that person beat me. But from a purely reward standpoint, this is it, and it's garbage. Like you can live without, what is that, 9 to 12 mid-tier leveling books. You'll be fine. So don't worry, don't overstress it. Yeah, your point on finding your own reason to do something, your own reason to fun, and this goes into not just, I think, gaming. I think this is just a good philosophy for life in general. I 100% agree with it, because I grew up in a family where prestige was all that mattered, and someone's perception of you and what value you brought to the family was all that mattered. And you did not betray that. Like, it was a very bad thing in my family growing up if you betrayed that. And so all of us had to have certain perceptions and personas. We had to carry a certain persona. And it wasn't until I became a much older individual that I kind of broke free of that and started really doing things for my own personal enjoyment. And so when I look at why I do anything anymore, it's exactly what you said. I don't need to do it because somebody's perception of, am I the best content creator if I didn't clear this boss in 4 turns instead of 12, or got the A2? Like, I don't care. I play the game for fun, and I create content for fun. And the fulfillment is the act itself. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of like, oh, if I drop a video and nobody watches it, that feels bad. Or if like I drop a video and I get, 30,000 views, I'm like, oh my God, that was kind of cool. Like, it's not like I don't have emotions or I'm not human towards that. But in general, I'm making content for games that I want to play and for the fun of it. And that's it.
I think, I don't know if that's the secret to success, but I think that's the secret to what you should define as success.
Yeah.
Or the secret to what you should, like happiness, basically. So like success can mean different things to different people, right? Like, but I think fundamentally, peace of mind, enjoying being in your own skin and enjoying the life that you're living, and spending your time doing things you enjoy. And that's not to say live in a fantasy cotton candy world, right? Like, resistance is very powerful for building character, and it could be very good to have some of. And like resistance training, like there's a lot of things that you don't want things to be too easy, but in general, peace of mind, it should be, in my opinion, your definition of success.
Yeah.
I think it'll lead to a happier life in general, and that's why I don't do guild boss.
Yeah. When I think that's, it's a good point towards, just the gacha game, be it Persona 5 or anything else. Like if there's an aspect of the game that you don't enjoy, just don't do it. Like, I don't like SOS. Like, every week, and the reason I think the big reason I don't like SOS is because there's a button in the other servers where those first 3 stages we have to get the 9 and 9 stars. You could just auto clear it. It's like, oh, you're level 80, or I think you have to be level 70. It just, you click the button and those stages go away. You get the stars, you move on, you go straight to the bosses.
I hate those stages.
I fucking hate them
so much.
They haven't been hard since week 1. Like, since week 1.
I'm not doing them again. They won't make. They weren't hard in week 1. You're
True,
being generous.
True. But like,
Joker, they were fine.
And it's basically the mode is basically guild boss without the guild, and the 3 annoying stages first. So like, I go in there and like, there's people like, oh, like you could have done this rotation better. Oh, I'm in the wrong screen and stuff. And I'm like, you don't get, like, I basically just don't care. I'll do 1 run and then I will attempt to stay somewhere in the middle of the pack and just not stress it. Like, I don't want to leave rank 8 because it's at least the better rewards. But like, if I went to C1, as long as I'm still in rank 8, that's the most amount of effort I'm going to put into it. Like, I would prefer to be C3, which is in the middle, just for the heck of the slightly better rewards. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lose sleep over 50 repression medals. I really just won't care. But like, that mode, it's not fun to me. And so I don't put any sort of real thought or heart into it at all.
No, I agreed. And it's like, again, just because what I said about FOMO and living your life doesn't mean that you should be devoid of desires of putting effort in. Like, it's fun to put in effort and see the fruits of those labors.
Yes.
It's so I don't want people to take what I said as like a blanket statement for all. I'm not saying be a Zen Buddhist, give up joy, give up sadness. I'm not saying live that life, but I think most people that think honestly can pretty clearly identify within themselves when they're doing something because they're really enjoying it versus they're doing something because they feel like it's a chore. Like, the first time I stopped playing Genshin Impact was I was playing it on my computer every single day. And then I went on I've only been on 2 vacations in my life, but I went on a vacation to Texas with my buddy because he asked me to go. And I had to play it on my phone, and it was so unfun to play on my phone that I didn't play it for like a week. And I felt like I had to log in, I had to do my dailies, and then I got back. I never played the game ever again because I couldn't believe how free I felt to not log in to do those daily chores. And I realized in my own brain how much I dreaded doing it, but it felt like it was part of a routine, and I had to keep doing it. Because that was like maybe my first gacha, but it was one of my first like actual gachas with that with like a routine in a lot of ways.
I think it was Fate, the Fate game that's been going on for like forever. I think that's how I felt about that one, is I was always chasing it, and that one was far more money grubby than a lot of games are, at least back then. I don't know if they've changed it now. And it's the same thing. I remember when I started missing dailies, and then that turned into I just didn't play the game anymore. And I'm like, oh, it's okay to not play this game. Like, there's a content creator / business owner. I watch a lot of entrepreneurs. I actually don't watch a lot of gaming content, which is kind of insane, but I watch a lot of entrepreneurs. And this one, he has this exercise that you do, and he has a whole book that I want to buy one day. I haven't even read it yet, but he's like, take a piece of paper down, think about what you think you want to do in life, because you might change by the end of the exercise, and write down all the things you do in a day that give you energy. And on the other column, write down all the things that take away your energy. And then look at that list and find out how many of those things that take your energy you can replace with the things that give you energy. And like, that was so basic, but so profound to me, because when I actually did the exercise, and I'm like, oh, there's like 5 things I thought I had to do that I don't have to do, that I did out of habit. I did out of routine. It's just like in a gacha game. Like, you do this out of habit, routine, because you built up this habit over the course of months of playing the same thing. And you're like, oh, but if I don't do it, I actually feel better about my day, even if I missed out on 20 gems or whatever the hell the thing is that I was chasing.
And then you get for me, that's like I haven't done that specifically, but to me, it sounds kind of like a financial budget in a lot of ways. Like, here's the things that generate money, here's the things that spend money. Just by having it written down and being able to visualize this kind of stuff, it gives you the information you need to refine what and spending your money versus your time, right? If you suddenly write down, it's like, oh, I want to spend $400 on going out to eat this month, and then you get to the end of the month and you spent $700, you're like, holy shit, I wasn't even close to what I thought. And that's the same thing. It's like, if I spend my time doing these things I hate and these things I love, it gives you the tools to change. You can't change what you're not aware of.
You guys came for Persona and you stayed for the philosophy. And then they're
Spoiler alert, I've done multiple philosophy podcasts with a different friend.
Yeah, they're all over here. So we're talking philosophy, and you know what's in my chat right now? Let's see.
6-7.
Yeah. Are you in my chat?
No.
That's literally what it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people have commented 6-7. I'm one of them because I had to, throw it back at them.
That's always what it is.
We're being profound, and they're like 6-7, 6-7.
Yeah.
And Mark unsubbed. Speaking of, guys, if you've not subbed, there's 77 of you in here, and I know quite a few of you are subbed, but if you've not subbed, then you are not helping me get to 20K, and you feel bad about yourself. Let's just I'm just going to put it on you. I'm going to put it on you.
Just, you know what? In their defense, I feel bad for them. Okay?
True. Yeah. There you go. And also go sub the Plat. Like, he also has a channel if you haven't figured that out yet. You guys should know that.
Yeah. I'll be streaming Final Fantasy 1 today.
Dude, I watched you for a little bit when I had a chance the other day. I didn't get to interact as much as I wanted, but it was so fun, like the nostalgia of seeing that game.
It is that game is not perfect. That game has its flaws. No. But it's like it's got its flaws in a charming way because that they're doing their best. Like it's different if a game comes out today and it sucks. I'm like, what are you doing? You know better. But at that time, it's like, what are they going off? Dragon Quest, and they're trying to push the genre forward a little bit in different ways. So they're going to put 9 enemies on screen, and I'm like, you know what? Ambitious idea, bad idea. But it's like, it's charming. It's charming in a way where it's like, man, they really thought this might work, and then immediately number 2, they cut it back. They're like, all right, no more 9 enemies on screen.
I still think because I think I might have mentioned this in the chat the other day when I was in there with you, I can legitimately remember playing this on the Nintendo when it first came out. And I just remember learning what the hell poison was, because the first 40 hours of that game is just poison. Like, just buy antidotes. Like, you have to do it.
They did not balance the status elements equally.
No.
I've played through half the game so far. There has only been poison.
Yeah.
You could buy echo herbs and whatever, like get rid of silence, get rid of poison, get rid of blindness. The only one that's ever come up is poison. And I just made a clip today where it's like, oh, look at it. It must be a day that ends in Y. These enemies poison. It's like it's like literally 80% of the enemies poison.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that game.
Oh, I missed a question from Bailey. On a no-pull account, I now have the opportunity to get my 6th character. No-pull account, I like it. I am unable to decide between Fleuret and Vino. No, it's Vino. Vino offers way more. Like, Fleuret is fine. He's good. I mean, he's good single target damage, but you have other damage dealers. Vino brings something that can't be replaced with Fleuret.
I'm asking, why are you not pulling?
Because Bailey has what, 4 accounts, right, Bailey? I think it's like one of their challenge accounts.
I have nothing but judgment. So I will just say, I think you should delete 3 of those accounts and find other things to do besides Persona. However, you may live your life, and if this is the way you enjoy it the most, then I will take your word for it. But I will say, as a fellow human, I am skeptical. I'm skeptical of it. It's like when someone says they're truly happy in a polygamous relationship versus a monogamous relationship.
So their 5th account. Sorry, I was wrong.
I am into monogamy. I love my girlfriend, and I don't want to share that with anybody. I want it me and her forever. When someone is like, yeah, I have, I'm a polygamist. We each have a couple boyfriends and girlfriends, and this is fundamentally what makes me happy. I feel like you're missing out on something in life. Maybe that's my own biases blinding my ability to perceive that. And I'm willing to acknowledge this is here, but I'm a monogamist, and I feel like by having 5 Persona accounts, you've just told me you're a polygamist, and I feel like you might be missing something.
Oh, there you go. That's the answer. I'm trying. So wait. So who do you have if you're not pulling? List out your characters for me, because that's actually a good point. Because you've got
the story characters, and then I you know what? I'm going to count limited 4-star cases or Cognite shards. I count that as pulling. All right.
Ooh. There you go. That's an opinion. It still counts as pulling.
If you're gonna use a shard or something to get a character, then why not just pull to get the 4 stars and not use the 5 stars? I don't know.
Isn't it? It's an interesting question.
It's all arbitrary.
Yeah.
It's like I was taught, like I messages in your chat, and it might have come off as a meme, but I'm serious. Like, there is no such thing as an actual sandwich, right? There is no actual thing as
Oh,
a
our conversation
sandwich.
the other day
Like,
or
but
last
I mean,
night.
like, because this happens all the time. Like, is hot dog a sandwich, right? It's like the answer is yes and no, because sandwich isn't real. It's like the concept of a sandwich is just a category we give things that we can all agree is a sandwich. But like once you go to the edges, everything becomes like, especially in the food world, but in everything in general. But like tacos, is a taco salad a taco? It's a taco. It's a salad. Is if you have a hard shell and you have the whole shell, you know, if it's a taco bowl, is that like everything on the edges becomes other things that are still the same thing.
I
They're
just I'm picturing Schrodinger's sandwich. Like that's what popped in my head when you said the sandwich no sandwich. Like it's a sandwich
Yes.
only when you observe it as a sandwich. Like and that's the
Exactly.
power is the observation.
Like, is a hot dog a sandwich? To some people, yes. You could be like, is a car a sandwich? No. Well, what if the car has 2 pieces of bread? Then is it a car sandwich? It's like, yeah, I guess. But it's like everything is just
Yeah.
the everything as you get to the fringes can be classified.
Okay. She's saying that there's 3 4-star selectors you can grind for. So they have Lufel, Mont, Matoha, Soy, Okian, Rico. That is such a brutal team. You're not clearing Astrolab, that's for sure. I mean, that your only damage dealer in that list is Matoha.
I just don't get it.
Ouch.
I like this isn't
It's a
like
fun
Metaphor
challenge.
Refantazi. It's not like a meta, but what's the challenge? The story you could still auto probably if you're level 80.
Ooh, but you know what? The
So
story boss for that's about to come out, that team might not be able to do it. That's gonna be a tough one.
Okay. Then maybe they'll add something. But up until this point, I'm like, what's the challenge? It's just like there's what's the content you're trying to do that's difficult to do besides
Yeah.
Astrolab, which would be unbelievable. The trials, I guess, but those are like literally impossible.
Yeah, they won't have the characters to do half the trials. Bailey, I got a question. What was your comp for beating the current Palace 3 boss? Because I've got people in chat sometimes that are like, hey, I have every character and I can't beat the boss. And I'm like I don't like my guide is like the same. It's like just throw Queen in there. Like you can just throw Queen in there and that boss is nothing.
Impossible. See, Soy
Yeah.
can defeat everything in the whole game.
Yeah.
Soy could beat every fight in the whole game. He's like the most powerful character.
Yeah. No,
It's free to play.
Mark, I would agree that for the next boss, Fleuret would be better than Vino. If that's the only things. What if Bear is a sandwich? I'm a snack, honey. I'm not a sandwich, I'm a snack. You should know this. We got to get
Bear
the real
could be a
facts out there.
Oh, like what does a sandwich have to have bread, or does a sandwich have to just be like what is a lettuce wrap a sandwich? So if a lettuce wrap is a sandwich, then Bear is a sandwich. He's just wrapped in an edible material. It's just not tasty.
If I'm a sandwich, then I'm the meat. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, is skin not the lettuce in a lettuce wrap?
It's just picturing lettuce as skin is weird to me. Your Queen team has been such a savior. Queen's really good. She's a really good unit.
I really should have used her more and built her. I still don't have any cards on her really. But she is just every time I use someone else's Queen, I'm like, oh shit, what am I doing? I feel like an idiot using every other character now. It's like when I use like one of these A6 wind characters and it does like 2 million damage in a hit. I'm like, why am I even playing? It's like these characters are so much stronger than my characters.
Yeah. Oh, she said she's only 4 days old on this account and she's having issues with Miyazawa. That's the second Palace boss name, right? I suck at names.
That's the second guy.
Ooh, so you're gonna have to use really good personas in that fight. Oh, I guess you can always use Wonder as DPS, ironically enough, in that situation. You would need really good personas and probably items. I would actually bring items to deal with phase 3 when he gives the Dizzy buff, whatever the heck it is that he gives.
Yeah, I would still bring Unicorn for that probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
it depends. If you don't mind buying items, then just buy items. I just like I feel like I can't be bothered.
yeah.
But you can absolutely use items, and then I think anyone can use them. Unicorn gets rid of that debuff. Soy is probably still your best because that fight's all single target.
So is great in that fight, yeah.
You don't want anything that hits AoE because that'll just cause you to die. So use single target DPS Wonder, single target debuff Soy, and he's also your sustain probably.
Oh yeah, he would be. And I mean, you could throw the Fell in there, but
yeah, Lufel's gonna be better than Closer if those are your options.
God, Closer sucks so bad in this game. There's not like
Closer
it, like
has no purpose.
even as like your only real DPS right now, like there's no way to invest in her. Like, cause like in some games you can like meme it and overinvest in a somewhat crappy character to make them good enough. She is not that. Like you can't overinvest into, even like with full Mindscape, I don't think you can overinvest into Closer and make her good. She just sucks. Like
No, she does suck. She's the worst character in the game. Well, I guess she may not be worse than. She's probably not as bad as Mont, original Mont. Original Mont's probably the worst. Because Closer could at least like increase the damage of your UEs and stuff, right? Like not like it matters, but it's like at least there's a use case there.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think original Mont has a team anywhere for any reason.
She sucks. So Bailey, I think that Sepia might be your play, because with Sepia you can also pair him with Pazuzu on Wonder's team.
If she has Sepia, this fight is easy with Sepia.
Yeah, well she doesn't
so
have him
much
yet, so she's trying to decide who to pick from the selector. But of who's in there, from what you're saying at least, I would think maybe Sepia.
I mean, him and Florette are both perfect single target damage dealers.
Yeah.
So if you're having trouble on this fight specifically, you need single target damage, and so that's one of those two characters. Unless you can get like a support. I mean, Vino honestly isn't bad for that fight because she's like the strongest debuffer. We just didn't have Vino when that fight was out, so I didn't use her obviously. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna go all in on DPS Wonder, Vino would be better.
True.
But if you're gonna use damage, Florette is okay with the damage. But you're going to want to use something like Norn probably to get windswept on the foe easier without him having to do it himself.
Well, I think where with the story bosses, you're going to run into SP problems. And so what I would probably do, because Lufel sucks at SP management, so I would definitely bring Soy as a sustain. I would pair him with Lufel for longer fights. And then I think like you can cheese so much with the Pazuzu strat on Wonder, and then for another persona you just bring like a backup healer like a Titania or somebody else that can do
Especially
a decent heal.
If you have Anubis is busted.
Yeah,
because that's two curse every time he hits, including with the highlight, including with one more attacks.
Yeah. One, if you're getting those curse stacks going, I mean you've just got a consistent dot going, so I think that that's a really good play. And the way that it scales, especially on those bosses, it just does a mega ton of damage. Like it's ridiculous.
I think this is what frustrates me about the game. All right, this is help solidify it. I know a lot about like, all right, here's how to build a team with this character. If you're going to use Florette, you're probably going to want Norn. You might want Vino could be good, and if you're using a specific thing. All right, yeah, Pazuzu is good if you use Anubis. Anubis's thing triggers off these two things. All this knowledge is fucking useless in the current game state. None of this matters at all. All the knowledge that I built from the entire conception of the game about everything is like completely irrelevant to all of the new stuff. It's not like a normal RPG where you're learning about the mechanics and building upon it. This is about replacing your old stuff with the new stuff.
You brought up something the other day, and I think this will be our final point, and then we'll call it a close on this one. But you had mentioned, and I didn't even realize it. It came from underneath, and I never even noticed that it happened. You don't fuse personas anymore. The core of the Persona franchise, besides your awakening, is fusing personas. It's the whole reason your main character even exists, is the wild card to do that. And they just stopped. They're like, hey, cool, now you can just buy them with coins. Maybe you fuse a couple here and there for like skills, but it's not really a core mechanic anymore. It was up until like level 70.
Yeah, I was gonna say level 70. You know, here's the rank 3. We did videos, the best rank 3 personas, the best rank 4 personas. Here's the ones you should fuse first. And then it's like it's completely removed from the game. You don't even need to, even if they released a persona that was a pay-to-win persona, that's hey, combine whatever this premium persona, like King Frost with I don't know, Shiva or whatever, I don't know, whatever one a new one is, right? You have to combine these to fuse something new. At least it would, in theory, that'd be kind of annoying because you need to use a bunch of those gems. Yeah. But it would at least keep the spirit of that alive. But they don't do that at all. You know, there's not awakenings for your characters. Oh, sorry, there is for only $100 per character.
Yeah.
There is for only $100 per character. Wow, and then it doesn't base on their relationship status with you. So there's not awakenings for characters actually. There's no fusing of the personas. There's no there's no summer vacation. It's still school. It's always school.
It's always school. I don't know. Like I think, like I don't know how they would bring it back at this point because it's been gone forever. But like I'm sitting here looking at the repression medals and like the few that I haven't like maxed out, and I have a whole bunch of these repression medals because I just don't feel like I need to max them out. And I don't. It is from a Persona franchise perspective, it is a missing link. Like they really should have, or maybe like you have to fuse the first of the ones that you get with coins, and then the ones after that you have to, like, to get the duplicates. Maybe you have to use the coins, but there should be like, I don't know. I still think there should be emphasis on fusing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just need to kind of not go back to the drawing board, but I think they should. Like when they have the design document when they're making this game, they probably first thing they have are bullet points. What is core to what Persona is? You know, and they probably have like, all right, protagonist fusing stuff and, you know, social links and these kinds of things. And I think they just need to rewrite all those down and ensure all of them are in the game and they continue being pushed forward. Because I feel like between the no awakenings, the no fusing, the social links not being, I don't know, like I guess they have to keep adding them or whatever, but like to me it feels like it's losing the Persona flavor over time and getting more gacha flavored.
Yeah. Well, I think
And,
like oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think they could, it's not too late. I think they can still bring that stuff back to make it feel more Persona like it did when the game launched.
Yeah, I think that in some ways they do get a little bit more back to it. Like when they get into the Persona 3, they got that whole Tartarus mode, and then you know, I would say that very much has a Persona feel. And then I think I want to become Morgana as a cat. And then they have like the zones that really kind of it really does hit for Persona. And I hope that when they eventually, and it's probably a while away, but when they get to the Persona 4 stuff, like I think that is a prime opportunity to bring in more of ironically, the Persona elements, right? Like there's so much, oh, I guess I just threw on the twins thing. There's so much they can do there. Like, I'm trying to think of like the cores of it. There's obviously the TV world, the whole Inaba, you know, area, Junes, etc., etc. But like when I think about Persona 4, I think about the randomness of the dungeons, but then they have like a vibe, right? Like, so like if you think about Kanji's, or you think about like Risei's dungeons, like I remember like Risei's dungeon, and I'm like, oh my God, is my wife going to hear me playing this? And she's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, because it's basically like porn music the whole time.
Look, when I think about Persona 4, I think about murders.
Yeah, yeah.
And if there's not murders in P5X, I'm going to be upset.
Can we murder Riddle? I think I know some people that might appreciate that. Yeah, I think, but you're right. Like take that as an opportunity to bring something back. That's the core of Persona. And maybe that's like when they bring back a reason to fuse people, or maybe that's when they bring back, I don't know. But you're right. Like I hadn't thought about that, but it is missing some of that original Persona flavor.
And how the hell do you introduce Mindscape and not Awakening? Why is this not the pseudo way that your party members awaken to their true personas?
When they do it, like, I mean, you get the second awakenings for like the core class or the core team, except for Lufel doesn't have his yet. But
it's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah.
It's not your party. It's a different party member with different skill sets.
Yeah. It's not the same at all.
It's like when you do it in Persona 5, it's the same character with the same skills. They get like a new skill or something and a stat boost. Like that's all it is. It's not like that big of a change. It's mostly visuals, and then with like they'll get like a new skill or two or something, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want. You know, it's Soy. He gets like his new persona, because I bet his Awakening is the same persona, or does it not? Is it a different persona?
It's like a different version of the same persona. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's the same. Like you'll see it with Rico on hers as well. Because that's about to happen.
I don't know.
Oh, I guess Closer doesn't have a new version.
I complained about that the first week of the game. I was like, how are there not awakenings? They've got to do this. How do you release your core, most important party members to the story as 4 stars and then not let them upgrade to 5 stars with slight stat boosts just for the flavor?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I still to this day, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, they are things you have to pull for, which sucks. Like, it's not just because, like, I think that'd be cool if they made them just you got them, but that would mean like this Windvast coming out or Tempest, whatever, would have to be just given to you.
It's like different than like, I mean, even Closer bugged me, but it's like different than like Tomoko for me because Tomoko is a 4-star. They released a 5-star version. Closer is one of the main characters, and she's given to everyone for free if you never pull the game in the game.
Yeah.
So like then to say it's like if you don't pull, she never awakens. Actually, your part she never awakened. Actually, she's still the same that she was. Soy's still the same as he was. That bugs me so much. Like in a fundamental gamer heart, I'm like you're the bad guys game. You're greedy. That's something that gets me. I'm like you're fundamentally messing with the Persona formula.
Kage just the timing of his comments perfect. What you just said because as you're saying that he wrote "Awaken Your Wallet." And it's like the perfect analogy to what you just said. But I think, guys, this has been a couple hours. I think this is going to be where we call it good on this particular episode. Any last remarks there, Platt?
Yeah, I love Persona 5. Perfect game, 10 out of 10. Keep it coming.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Friends, thank you. We never know if we're going to be live or not the next week, so you just find out probably on Friday. But thanks for coming. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to like and sub on your way out, please. It would help me amazingly. Sign us out, Platt.
Guys, thank you very much for watching the Bear and the Platt. We will see you on the flip-flops. Bye.
Bye.